Hey everybody, Vince August here. It is Super Bowl Sunday in America, February 13th, 2022. I am going to cover the Super Bowl with some predictions. I will talk about my experience with gambling on this day. But let's see what else I throw out there. First things first, I don't know if you guys saw the Puppy Bowl, if you're Puppy Bowl fans. This is actually a really cool thing, by the way, because it's just not little puppies running around all over the place. From what I understand, the dogs that they show, the puppies that they show, are up for adoption. So you can actually see where these dogs are being held. You can try to adopt a dog. And those of you who don't know, I am a huge supporter of all animal rights causes. In fact, I have the only tattoo I have on my body is a paw print of my last dog I had, Spike. As he got older, he lost his vision, he lost his hearing, and he would sleep next to me and he would hold on to my arm. And, the love between a pet owner and a pet is like really no other, I have to say. That unconditional love you feel back and forth. So, what I wanted to do is I got his paw print done. And I brought it over to the tattoo artist. I brought Spike over with me. He was still alive at the time. I said, can you do a paw print like it looked like he left his mark on me forever? And that's exactly what that is. So that's how much I love animals. Also, I know that they just brought in something like 120, 130 dogs from Puerto Rico following the storms that they had. They are up for adoption. Oh, there was a camera shake there. They're up for adoption. I should have got the link. Maybe I'll post it in the comments on all the threads where you can adopt one of those dogs that were brought over to try to rescue those dogs. So, again, huge supporter of animal rights. In fact, I have to tell you, the only places I ever donate money, I've never donated money to any political party, not even Bernie Sanders, none of them. The only places I donate money are to animal causes, North Shore Animal League, and really children's stuff, like children's hospitals, like St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I don't donate to anybody else or anything else because most of those foundations, they're either wrought with some type of, scandal or where the money's going, where the money's not going. Actually, that's a lie. I have donated to military projects. Every time we donate clothes, we always give it to the Vietnam veterans. So that's the other. So there's three. All right, so I lied. So it's veterans projects, animal causes, and to children's causes like St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So anyway, if you saw the Puppy Bowl, Martha Stewart is 80 years old. Man, she looks amazing. Incredible. She's standing there with Snoop Dogg, and I'm like, wow, look at how phenomenal this woman looks at 80 years old. And the weird thing is, of the two of them, she's the one who went to jail and did the hard time. You'd think she would come out looking worse than Snoop did. I don't know if it was hard time or not. It's a joke. Relax, everybody. So that was interesting to see Martha Stewart at 80, still looking great. Good for you, Martha Stewart. And of course, they're going to be the haters out there. Dude, she's got millions of dollars to make herself look good. I would look good too if I had that kind of money. No, I have to be honest with you. A lot of you still wouldn't look good. So anyway, that's the Puppy Bowl. If you didn't see it, there's more to it than just watching cute dogs roll around on a mat, which really, do we need anything more than cute dogs rolling around playing with each other? Okay, that's that. Let's get to the Super Bowl. First thing I want to talk about with regards to the Super Bowl, betting and gambling. I have to tell you, it is amazing how no matter what channel I am watching, the amount of ads I see for sports gambling and betting sites, whether it's DraftKings, MGM, or whoever, and they are endorsed by like big name celebrities. Like you have Halle Berry and Jamie Foxx and all kinds of people in these commercials for gambling. And as always, I try to relate my legal background into a lot of what I talk about here. One of the first cases I ever had when I was doing criminal defense with this firm I started out with back in the day, Luciana and Luciana, where I worked with Frank Luciana, who is now 99 years old, still practicing law. One of the things that we had was a gambling case. And, they raided these guys, the defendants, alleged people running this gambling ring. They raided their premises. And, we had all of these people represented by different attorneys. And I remember one of the defendants saying at one point, did you get the discovery? And we did. And what we looked at was their phones. They told us, look at the phones. And they were all desktop model phones. So if you're young, you don't know what a desktop model phone looks it up. It was old rotary phones. None of them had the rotor. So I said, what's the point? And they're like, we don't call out. We don't call anybody. Our phones don't dial out. If you look at all of the phone records, all of the discovery, you're not going to see one call go out from where we ran our operation. I said, what's your point? They said, the point is people were calling us to bet and gamble. And the big problem was, obviously, it's illegal, but how they defended it is, look, I go home at night at dinner. I can't tell you how many calls I get from stockbrokers on Wall Street trying to get me to invest in their stocks that they say they have great information on, they have tips about, they know this stock is going to go, which we know was a lie. It's a lie. One of the people that was doing all that was this guy, Jordan Belfort, back in the day, that they did this movie and there was a book, Wolf of Wall Street, about. We know it's a lie. Supposedly, they're not supposed to know if a stock is going to go up or down. That's insider trading. I have insider information. The only people that would know that would be people in Congress who apparently never lose on stocks. But he said, look, he goes, so here I am. I'm not calling you telling to invest in me. You're calling me to place a bet. I'm taking your bet where there's nowhere else to bet. The problem is, and the anger is with our government, is they're not getting a piece of this action. They're not getting tax money from us. They're not getting revenue from us. And they want to be able to control it, manipulate it. And this guy looked at me and said to me, this is going back 25 years. He said, trust me, if the government can figure out a way to make money on gambling, it'll be legal in every state. We're almost there. I mean, you look at DraftKings, you look at all of this stuff that's going on. I don't go, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but whenever I watch TV, it's really hard for me to go without seeing a commercial about placing bets, placing wagers on one of these apps. So, it's interesting how something 25 years, well, even less than that, was illegal. But now all of a sudden that governments can get involved and they can make money on it. All of a sudden, that wasn't such a bad thing. It's not such a bad thing when you can have people just, dig themselves in an incredible financial hole and gamble. Whatever. You know what? Nah, it's fine. Let's go ahead with it. It's funny. Jon Stewart had a great podcast this week where he talked about misinformation and how, it's really hard to say certain things are misinformation. Not everything, certain things, because it's always shifting sands. The sands are always shifting. And what, seems like misinformation today is not misinformation tomorrow because someone was holding back information. And when that information got released, all of a sudden there's a different thing. Again, look at where gambling was in this country years ago. Look where it is now. Look at how many people were prosecuted and put in jail for running gambling operations. Now they're illegal. We're seeing the same thing with marijuana. Look at how marijuana, people were thrown in jail, incarcerated, and people that had drug problems were turned into criminals basically because they were put in jail rather than put into drug treatment facilities. Now all of a sudden we're legalizing marijuana. What do you say to those people 20 years ago? Oh, you know what? Hey, you were ahead of the time. You were ahead of the curve. By the way, something else I want to talk about with shifting sand, and I just reminded myself of it. This was interesting that came out from the CDC this week and how things change over time. So what happened was the definition of vaccine has changed. Okay. I want to read this. This is from the CDC website, by the way. So there's nothing misinformation here. This is a quote, and I'm quoting directly from the CDC. The CDC also changed its, I'm sorry, this is from AP. My mistake already. I already fucked up. This is from the AP quoting what the CDC is doing. So this is an AP fact check for the Centers of Disease Control. The CDC also changed its wording for the definition of vaccination from, now this is from the CDC website, the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce immunity to a specific disease. Quote, that was in 2018 to the new definition. The act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce protection from a specific disease. End quote. The key difference is here again, and now I'm reading the AP. The key difference is here again, the absence of the word, quote, immunity in the latest definition and the change to protection instead. Okay, again, CDC, AP, there it is. That's where it's coming from. Don't look at my pictures. They're none of your business. So people that were saying way back in the beginning, you know what, this is not a true vaccine because it doesn't offer immunity. And everybody was arguing, saying, no, you're anti-vax. And by the way, for anyone who's going to try to attack me on this shit, I'm going to say to you right now, I was vaccinated. I am not anti-vax. So don't start sending that bullshit to me. I was vaccinated. I am not an anti-vax person. But what I am saying is, when you have to change the definition of something retroactive because what you were saying was not really true and what the media was saying was not really true. So in order to gain the confidence back from the public by saying, look, you know what? Rather than say what the thing you were putting in your arm wasn't really what we're telling you. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the definition of what we were telling you. So now it's true. Okay, so you protected. No. Listen, this thing was sold. And again, if you look up Rachel Maddow, she was one of the people that said it. There were people in Congress saying it. There were people all over social media saying it. If the illness goes person to person to person and it lands on a person who's been vaccinated, it doesn't leave. It stays with that person. It dies in there because that person has immunity and it's got nowhere to pass. That was a lie. That was a lie. And it was always a lie. And now what they did to fix the lie is they said, we're going to change the definition. So now we're no longer lying. And that wasn't a lie then, because look at the definition now. And the same thing happened with Fauci when he was testifying as with regards to, oh crap, I'm drawing a blank on what it is, but basically when you do the testing on animals to go from animal to person, whatever, someone's going to tell me in the comments what it is, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now. It's the one that him and Rand Paul were fighting over all the time. Anyway, so again, the sands are always shifting. There's always shifting. I almost said the sands are always sifting. No, the sands are always shifting. So not everything is as black and white as it appears. There are times where you have to look back and say, hey, one of the things I just brought up, gambling. Look at what gambling has turned into in this country. It's all over people's phones. It's an app. Today in particular, probably the biggest day in Vegas, Atlantic City, all of these websites, there's more gambling done today than any day in this country. Used to be illegal. Now, all of a sudden, it's part of our culture. It's part of our society. So let's get to my picks with regards to this. Now, before I get into my picks, there's a reason why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. I want everybody to know what my perspective is, what my point of view is. I am a lifelong Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So I don't have a dog in the fight that when people are like, but wait a minute, they're a Bengal rival. They're in the same division with the Bengals. Yeah, you could say that. But you know what? Look, I've seen my team literally in person win a Super Bowl. I saw them win the Super Bowl against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to digress. I got to tell you the story about going to the Super Bowl. So, get to go to the Super Bowl. Steelers are playing the Cardinals in Tampa. I have a friend that lives in Tampa, so I don't have to worry about hotel. I'm going to save money on hotel. It's a short, quick flight. It's not that expensive. So, you know what? Screw it. I'll spend the money on the ticket. Plus, they're playing the Cardinals. The Steelers were amazing that year. We're going to win this thing, right? We're not going to get beat by the Arizona Cardinals. We show up for the tailgate because you buy tickets for a tailgate, and there's tailgates all the way down to the stadium the new stadium where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play now. And there's a street that faces the parking lot where the old stadium used to be, which got knocked down. This entire street is just one tailgate after another, after another, after another. Okay. I'm going to say it was about 90% Steeler fans, and that might be conservative. It's black and gold for as far as you can see. We get there at 9 o'clock. They have breakfast. There's beers already are out. There's barbecues going all day. By noon, they're bringing out smokers. They have grills going. People are playing Steelers fight songs, old videos of Steeler games on these huge Winnebagos, and there's giant TV screens, everything else. People are partying before the game. I'm going to say for a solid 9 hours. By the time it's 4 o'clock, I'm like, look, I want to go to the game. I came here for the game. I didn't come here to eat chicken legs in someone's backyard. They have a whole NFL experience out there where you could do like a bench press competition. You could try to kick a field goal, all kinds of stuff. We did that. We milled around there for about an hour. You get to take a picture with the Super Bowl trophy. And then sure enough, we went into the stadium, and we were in the Steelers end zone where they were warming up. There was one section of Arizona Cardinal fans behind us who were really cool. There was none of that yelling back and forth, stupid crap you see at some stadiums. Unbelievable experience. Game starts. Spoiler alert, Steelers win the Super Bowl. We're in the end zone where James Harrison returns the 100-yard interception. We were going so crazy, high-fiving each other. Who's walking over? I wound up like 3 rows away from where I was by the time we were done celebrating that thing, because people were it was just a massive humanity jumping all over each other. That was one of the really cool moments because he ran it back towards us. Then there was the moment in the game where the Steelers had a lead. They had a big lead in the game. Larry Fitzgerald winds up scoring the touchdown towards us that puts the Cardinals ahead in the fourth quarter. And I've got my terrible towel over my shoulders. You can hear a pin drop in the stadium, except for the Cardinal fans behind us. And I'm standing there. I remember thinking, I spent $1,200 on a ticket to a game, came all the way down here to see my team lose. This is the worst fucking day of my life. I can't believe I spent this much. I'm watching my team lose the Super Bowl. We're watching our team lose. We're losing to the Cardinals? And sure enough, amazing ending. Ben Roethlisberger throws the pass to Santonio Holmes. The ref calls a touchdown, so the place goes absolutely wild. And there's nothing but a sea of terrible towels, people screaming. Again, we're going nuts. People in the aisles. Then, of course, we hear the play is under review. We're like, here we go with this shit again. So everyone's quiet, and sure enough, the ref comes out. He says, after review, the player had control of the ball. And we're like, wait, not yet. Both feet landed in the end zone. We're like, I think we could lose our minds now. And then the ref was like, the result of the play is a touchdown. So we actually celebrated the game-winning touchdown twice. The Rams had one last shot. Luckily, they were coming back our way. They fumble, ball 50-yard line, Steelers win. Okay, so that's my experience at the Super Bowl. So I have to tell you, when you watch a team win the Super Bowl in front of you, and I've seen my team win six. I'm good. I have to be honest with you. I don't lose sleep over this stuff anymore. So that's my perspective. The Steelers have beat the Rams in the Super Bowl when they won their 4th Super Bowl in 1979. Vince Ferragamo. It was played in Southern California. They beat the Rams right in front of their fans. And they also have had tremendous success against the Bengals. I don't bear hard feelings towards either of these teams. I'm not one of these people that the Bengals suck, man. I can't stand it. No, I don't care. I understand that professional athletes in the business, so I don't care. So let me get to the picks. All right. First one, coin toss, prop bet. Only prop bet I'm covering. You get to bet on this thing. Heads or tails. I'm going to go with tails. Don't know why. You know what? Listen, who doesn't like a little tail? Then again, head at the same time. Well, no, anyway, we're not going to make this a sex thing. I'm going to go with tails, just for the hell of it. 50-50 shot. Let's go with tails. That's what I'm picking for that. The game itself, the Rams are 4.5-point favorites over the Bengals. I'm going to tell you this. I don't have a rooting interest in terms of when either team wins, I'm going to be like, whatever, man. Good for you. I'm happy that you won. But I would like to see the Rams win for one reason. Their quarterback, Matthew Stafford, played his career for the most part for the Detroit Lions, which is one of just the worst NFL franchises in the league. He went through nothing but losing season after losing, like embarrassingly losing seasons. Like every year, it's like, are they going to win a game type of losing seasons? And you know what? The guy shows up every week, plays hard, puts up crazy numbers. If you're a fantasy person, he's a great guy to have on your fantasy team. So for the fact that Matthew Stafford has stuck it out this long and has this opportunity to win a Super Bowl, I'm pulling for Matthew Stafford as a person. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have an unbelievable blueprint to have a really nice long run at, winning divisions, making the playoffs, getting to the Super Bowl. They have Jamar Chase there. I have an incredible team. So long as he stays healthy, so long as the Bengals don't do crazy stuff and lose players for free agency and everything else, I think they'll be back. And I'm saying that as a Steeler fan. I love what they have. And look, they're better than we're going to be probably for a while because we don't have a quarterback. So that's just my take. That's the only reason I'm leaning Rams. I'd like to see Stafford win it. I think Burrow will have another chance. Let's let Stafford get it as he's in the twilight of his career. But for the pick, as of right now, 4 o'clock on Super Bowl Sunday, the last spread I saw is Rams minus 4.5. I'm going to tell you this, as much as I'm pulling for the Rams for Stafford, I would take the 4.5. So my pick is take the Bengals plus the 4.5 because I think they will cover the spread. It seems like all of the money is going on the Rams, which is driving the spread up. For those of you who don't know gambling, the more you bet on the team that's a favorite, the higher the spread goes up. That means that's controlling the spread. Right now, Vegas money seems to be going on the Rams. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to take the points. The under-over for the game is 48.5, which would mean roughly each team would have to score 24 points to get to that 48 number. And looking at both of these teams, I think the Rams only scored 20 or less 5 times this season. Bengals scored 20 or less, something like 4 times this season, including the playoffs. So over a course of 17 games, if you score more than 20, 2/3 of those games, I'm going to assume that these two teams can score. I think it's the type of game that may even go into overtime. I'm looking a score something like 30-27. I would go over. So I'm going to go Bengals plus 4.5, over 48.5. If you want to get crazy, there's something called a two-team tease where you can tease 6 points swing to each team. I would do Bengals plus 10.5. I get to add 4 to them and then go over 42.5, which you would think would make a lot of sense. So that would be my two-team tease. Bengals plus 10.5, over 42.5. If you want to do a parlay where you have to win both to win more money, so you bet like $30 to win $70, but you have to get both right, I would go Bengals and the over. Those are my picks for this year's Super Bowl. Put your picks and what you think it's going to be. Again, I'm going to go with the score 30-27 Rams. I think the Rams win. I think the Bengals cover. Again, I'm not going to look at the prop bets, the under over on the national anthem, all of that stuff. I'm not going to get into all of that. Let me know what you think. Put your scores, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you think about heads or tails if you want to talk about the prop bets. And that pretty much wraps up this episode. I'm going to try to come back this week. Like I said, I'm going to try to be more consistent. I'm back with the black and gold. I figured let me go with the black and gold because I'm wearing my Steelers color, but we're going to get the green screen and the new studio and everything else looking the way we did last time. Everybody, enjoy the game. Have fun. Hopefully you win your boxes. Hopefully you win your pools. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, let everyone know, hey, go subscribe to Vince's YouTube page because once he breaks 1,000 people in 4,000 hours, he can start monetizing this thing.